In the last video, we talked about the difference between food allergies, food sensitivities, and food intolerance. And today, I want to talk about one of the most important questions I hear often in clinical practice. Why did food sensitivities develop in the first place? Because for most people, food sensitivities didn't happen randomly. They happen for a reason, and they're usually not permanent. One of the biggest misconceptions is that when you have a food sensitivity, it's that the food is bad for you, or that your body is broken. In reality, food sensitivities are a signal that something else is going on, particularly within the lining of the gut, and it's an opportunity to better understand your body so that you can improve your health. The immune system isn't reacting because that particular food is harmful. It's reacting because it's being exposed to foods that it normally shouldn't see. This is a really important concept. The lining of the gut acts like a selective barrier. When it's doing its job properly, certain nutrients are allowed to pass through and be absorbed, while other particles should not cross through, such as pathogenic bacteria, inflammatory particles, or even larger undigested food. When those particles cross through the intestinal lining, they can interact with the immune system, which sits right on the other side of that barrier. The immune system is doing its job, watching for invaders, pathogens, toxins, and things that should not be getting into the body. It wants to protect you from potentially dangerous particles. The issue isn't with the immune system. The issue is typically within the lining of the gut, allowing too much to pass through that selective barrier. Think of the intestinal lining as a chain link fence. Normally, air, flies, bees can pass through naturally and unencumbered. But when there's a break in the fence and suddenly your neighbor's dog can cross right through and terrorize you, your pets, or your garden, suddenly you're on high alert and you're gonna be watching for that dog to cross through the fence. You may even see the dog out on the street walking with his owner and you're instantly triggered because you've seen that dog before, you've seen what he can do, and that doesn't make you happy. So the lining of the gut is similar. Certain things are supposed to cross through naturally, while others should not. There are many factors that can impair the lining of the gut. This might be a gastrointestinal infection or food poisoning that you had. Maybe you had to have a lot of antibiotics because you had frequent ear infections or sinus infections. Those antibiotics disrupt the intestinal microbiome, the healthy bacteria in our gut, and this can lead to inflammation. Even chronic stress can impair the lining of the gut, and also eating inflammatory foods or highly processed foods. All of these things can set the stage for intestinal permeability, and it's a cumulative effect over many years. Something I see very commonly is that people often have food sensitivities to the foods they eat most commonly. That's because repeated exposure increases the likelihood that the immune system will react and recognize those foods as a problem, especially if the lining of the gut is compromised. This is one of the reasons why dietary variety is so important. Even just eating seasonally can be a great strategy for dietary variety. A vicious cycle can happen when you have food sensitivities, which worsens gut inflammation, which leads to further intestinal permeability and more food sensitivities. So the very foods causing the symptoms can actually perpetuate the problem unless this cycle is interrupted. The encouraging thing is that food sensitivities are not permanent. IgG and IgA antibodies have a relatively short half-life. This means that with the right approach, by reducing immune triggers, supporting digestion and absorption, calming inflammation, and healing the lining of the gut, many people can successfully reintroduce foods over time. The goal here is not restriction forever. It's restoration. In the next video, we'll talk more about how to actually identify food sensitivities, including the role that the elimination diet may play, and when testing might be helpful, because clarity is empowering and guessing is exhausting. If this resonates with you, feel free to like and subscribe, or comment below with questions you'd like me to address. I'm Dr. Kate. Thanks for watching.